These are two of the most popular hybrid trail shoes on the market, the HOKA Challenger 8 and the ASICS Trabuco 13. But with the recent upgrades, there's now a huge difference between the two shoes. So let me show you which ones are best to hike or to run in, depending on how long you want to spend on the trails, what type of fit you need, and the comfort you prefer underneath your foot. If we look at the HOKA Challenger 8, it had a massive upgrade compared to the Challenger 7 with an extra 11 mils of cushioning under the heel and an extra 8 mils of cushioning underneath the forefoot. So we now have a 42 mil stack in the rear foot and 34 in the forefoot, giving you an 8 mil drop. And while we have an 8 mil drop also in the Trabuco, it has 34 mils in the rear foot and 26 in the forefoot. So that's an 8 mil difference in the amount of cushioning underneath your foot. And you can definitely notice the difference, even though the weight comes in relatively similar with 287 grams in the size 9 men's US in the Challenger 8 versus 283 grams in the Trabuco. And underneath the Trabuco, you've got 3.3 millimeter lugs, ASICS grip undersole, which is a really sticky grip underfoot, and it also comes with a rock plate in the forefoot to give you that extra protection, making it really stiff in the forefoot. In contrast to that, you've got deeper lugs of 4 millimeters in the Challenger 8. You don't have a rock plate built into the forefoot, but you've got extra padding underneath your forefoot to give you that type of protection. And in saying that, it's a much more flexible shoe in the forefoot as a result, and this will influence what you feel on the trails, especially when you're going uphill. And when we think about the cushioning, we've got HOKA's classic CMEVA cushioning underneath your foot, so it's a relatively responsive cushioning. It's really comfort focused as well, so when you initiate contact with the ground, you're getting lots of protection, lots of absorption of vibration, and it's got that XM forefoot rocker to help you transition through on the forefoot. We've got more of a classic FF Blast Plus cushioning that's relatively responsive in the ASICS Trabuco 13. Because of the lower stack height, you get a better contact feel with the ground, so where in contrast with the Challenger 8, you can just feel like you're a little bit too high if you're someone who enjoys that feel on the ground. Then it brings us on to stability. So you've got a much wider platform in the Challenger 8 compared to the Trabuco, especially in the heel, which is quite narrow on the Trabuco. The benefit of having that narrow platform on the Trabuco is it makes it a bit more nimble, a bit more agile, especially for fitting in between rocks and branches. The broader platform, large sidewalls on the inside and the outside of the Challenger, alongside loads of sole flare in the forefoot, makes it much more stable underfoot despite having that amount of cushioning. And on top of the shoe, we still have the same problems with the Challenger that we see in most HOKAs, in that it has quite a tapered forefoot. So if you have a broader foot, you might look towards the wide version in the Challenger 8. You've got a normal fit in the toe box on the Trabuco 13, but it is quite a struggle to find a wide version in the Trabuco 13. On top of the shoe, we've got gusseted tongues that are quite padded, and we've got loads of padding around the heel counter that comes up a little bit higher on the Challenger 8 than it does on the Trabuco 13. So what are these shoes best used for? Well, the Challenger 8 is a max stack neutral stable shoe, so in terms of the amount of stability underfoot, it's quite stable for quite a broad platform, but it's relatively heavy and therefore it can be used for long distance running, long distance hiking if you're looking for that all day comfort. In contrast to that, in the Trabuco 13, similar weight, but it feels much more nimble underfoot, a bit more responsive, and you still get that protection underneath your forefoot. So it's an excellent option for moderate to longer distance trails, for moderately technical trails, whereas the Challenger 8 gives you a little bit more grip underfoot due to those longer lugs. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and thank you very much for watching.